Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and hang out with you. First and foremost, this is the pre-show, the pre-build section, the hangout spot, the intro. I want to give a shout out to Harold, who is hosting the stream. Thank you, Harold. And Recyclables there in the chat. I know that. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego. Scary Gary's in there as well. If you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave or the Lego emote in the chat. Leo's here. Hi, Leo. A reminder, folks, if you're watching here, you're not currently a subscriber, that if you've never, Lashbrook is here. If you've never been a subscriber, now's a great time to do it because it's September, half price. Harold just cheered 150, which is the bonus. If you use the cheer emote, the Subway cheer emote, I get a bonus, and that's rad. Thank you very much, Harold. Getting yourself back on the leaderboard there. Jam's here, awesome crew. So, if you've never used a paid subscription, you can convert that. So if you if you use Amazon Prime's coin, the Prime coin, you can convert that for half. If you are currently a gifted subscriber, you were gifted a sub, you can convert that. Dude wants his ruggeds here. The only time that it doesn't save you any money is if you're gifting someone a sub. That's still $5. They didn't make that cheaper, but we got a fun kit to build. I'm going to show you a piece of it. Here's a piece of it. This is to tell you the scale that we're working with. It's a small boat. We're making a pretty small boat. And one of the things that's in this kit is a crap ton of stickers. Look at all of these stickers. I would call this a 144 scale high grade. Now, I don't know the scale. I can't tell you the scale. This kit looks nuts. It's only 4 sheets. It's 4 sheets. That's green, so it's gonna mess everything up. It's only 4 sheets here. It's only 4 sheets, and that's the size of the sail, front sail, the 2 sails. So that should give you an idea. But it makes up for it being relatively small by having, as I said, a crap ton of stickers. So one of the things we're going to do with this is, now normally when I apply stickers, I use my tweezers. My tweezers they've seen better days. They're not really pointed at the end. There's still some gunk on, there's a little glue left on it from doing our glue kit, where I had a lot of glue when I did paper craft. So we're going to go with an X-Acto knife. Now, the tip of this broke a little bit, which makes it fine for what we're doing here. We're going to use the X-Acto knife to set things, and then we are going to employ, not using like the tweezers to move it, not using the X-Acto knife to kind of adhere the sticker and smooth it out. We'll just use a Q-tip. We just got a cotton swab right here. I'm just going to use that to kind of go like this and kind of set what we need there. I am not doing anything revolutionary. I am not doing anything groundbreaking. And I'm certainly not doing anything that several other people who watch these streams haven't done before. I'm just saying that I am switching up my sticker game a little bit because the vast majority of the stickers and the fact that some of them are quite small. This should hopefully give me a little bit more range, a little more detail than the tweezers would. And then also, like getting into crevices and roofing the stickers and applying them. Hopefully it'll be easier because, as I said, we got a lot of stickers. Let's go to the overhead. We'll get into the building. We'll add in our other camera. Here we go. I'm zoomed in a little bit so that it doesn't look too small. Scary. This kit, I don't know. It's fun. It's going to be a fun one. So there's 2 schools of thought when it comes to a sticker heavy kit. One is as you go, and one is when you're done. I prefer as you go. I think I'm going to have a much better time putting the 4 stickers I need to put on this now than when it's adhered to that. You can dab some water onto the plastic part you want to place the sticker on with a Q-tip so you can maneuver a little bit. Then when you're happy with the place, dry the small amount of water with a dry part of the Q-tip. Yes, recyclable. You can do that. I don't think I'm going to be doing that in this kit, but that is a tool. If you are worried about placement and getting it right, um, you can wet it a little bit in order to give yourself some wiggle room. Um, that is a good tip, Recyclable. Thank you very much. Also, Recyclable, thanks for buying this kit. This is purchased off my Amazon wish list. I'll mention that, obviously, a few times. All right, so we need symbols here. 2 portholes with the line. 2 portholes with the line. That is this one. Okay, great. I'm just gonna try not to cut the sticker as I peel it. Pull it off. And then line it up as best I can. Okay. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of stickers in this kit, but that's okay. This is the first time we've ever done a one-piece kit. We've never done anything for One Piece. You know, Bandai put this out. I'm excited to work on a Bandai kit. I like working on, they do good work. Obviously, we've done lots of different Gunpla, and so we're no strangers to Bandai as a company. But this is the first time. There are a lot of ships in the One Piece world that have model kits, which is cool. Lashbrook, I know what you mean. And you're right. Ultron, hello and welcome. We did build Tony Chopper from One Piece. What I meant was this is the first time that we are doing a vehicle build. Now, you could say, well, you did build a bunch of little vehicles that went to one big Tony Chopper. I meant ship. That's exactly, honestly, what I meant. This is the first time we are working on a full-fledged ship from One Piece. They made a lot of these. They actually made another version of this post New World, the Grand Line, because the Thousand Sunny got an upgrade. So they actually put that out, which this doesn't. This is a pre-upgrade. So there is another version of the Thousand Sunny. The Going Merry is still on my wish list, which was the original, main ship. I mean, it's the first named ship for the pirate crew because they did have just a rowboat for a while. I've been hunting for a new place to live this week, and it's very stressful. Ultron, good luck to you. That is incredibly stressful. I know you're going to find a great place you're going to be very happy with, and you're going to find a lot of stinkers that you're going to be unhappy with. But I'm hopeful that process will be short and sweet for you, my friend, and you will end up with a place that you can call home, literally, real soon. But yes, to be fair, honestly, without looking at the image, I couldn't have told you the name alone, which ship was which. Yeah, Lashbrook, well, the Going Merry is a goat or a sheep, and the Thousand Sunny is the Sun Lion, and that's how you could tell those two ships apart. And then later there's upgrades and more mechanical stuff on it per Frankie's instruction. But yeah, this is the Thousand Sunny. I know that one of the ships got wings when they went fight a dude with huge earlobes. They did have to augment the Going Merry a bit to face their first major one of their major villains. Yes. All right. So now we need that one. Do I wish that these stickers were numbered instead of kanji? Of course I do. I'm selfish. I would prefer it to be easier than harder. So yeah. Yes, we did do Tony Chopper, which it'll be really funny to put that to put all the Tony Chopper, the giant one, or even the tiny one of the tiny Tonys next to this will be very funny. All right, and then we'll just spread that out there. And are we going to be perfect with these stickers? Of course we're not. Are we going to do our best with them? Yeah, but I'm not expecting to do great or perfect. It won't be perfect, but it'll be Pat Baer. Also, I can't just sit here trying to nail it 100% the entire time. I want to get some building done. I want to, be able to talk about stuff that's going on and anime stuff, and there's a rant in me about some events that transpired today and the personal nature of said event and my feelings on it. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about a bunch of stuff. So I can't just sit here and redo them over and over again. I know very little about One Piece, and at this point, I feel like it would be undertaking to get into it. Any ship battle is a big part of the show. Yes, so there's a mix, recyclable. It depends on the thing. There's some big sea battles. There's some boarding and fights. There are whole arcs that don't take. Right now, we're on Wano, which is like a samurai, Japanese inspired, or it's not samurai, not Japanese, but like samurai inspired epic is happening right now. So we're not going to see them in boats for a bit. It kind of depends on where they are in the story. They had a whole thing in a desert place, and there was a camel and a whole bunch of stuff. It does change a bit depending on when it is. There are big sea epics and boarding of ships and fighting. I've said this before, I think, on the stream. If you've ever been like, dang, I'd like to know more about One Piece. If there was a website or a YouTube series that kind of gave me, like, in 8 minutes, told me about a saga in One Piece so I could get caught up, then yeah, you should check out the Grand Line Review. The Grand Line Review is a YouTube series, channel, so to say, dedicated to One Piece because of the Grand Line. And the gentleman that runs that is very knowledgeable about One Piece. And does 101s on characters, does breakdowns of chapters and episodes, but more specifically for this, does like recaps of sagas. Obviously, there's a lot. And also, One Piece is great, but also suffers from some of the worst filler in any show ever. I was complaining on Monday about the incredible amount of... It's not like, oh, this episode didn't happen in the manga. It's, this character is not great or important, and the anime decided that character was very important for seemingly no real reason, and it's a bad look. A joke character that is part of one page is suddenly a whole episode. It is not great. So, there's a lot. Honestly, getting into the manga would probably be easier and more fun. But I do like the show, and for the most part, I enjoy what's going on with it. I'm looking forward to Stampede, the movie. That'll be fun. All right, so we put the ramp on there. So yeah, so we're building the ship up here. We got the front of the ship. We got the back of the ship that we're putting on here. We got some stickers to put on. It's a whole thing. Stampede, says Ying Dark. Yes, the new movie, Stampede, looks pretty rad. I enjoy the character Boa Hancock. The fact that Boa's going to be in there is great because I think that she is a fantastic character with a great story. So I'm excited to have more Hancock. And, it's non-canon, but it is canon, but it's not canon. So it's like, it's always a weird thing with movies for anime. But, all right, so we got one big sticker here. I'm going for Nico. I understand. Ms. Robin. So, recyclable, here's the thing. Movies are generally, in anime, considered non-canon. But One Piece had a filler episodes of flashback to events that directly lead into the movie. Now, they may never reference what happened in the movie, but they did add in episodes to set up the movie in order to help promote the movie. So it's very strange. Almost never do events in those things fall back into a main series. Uh, I think I think one of the Naruto movies is canon. Does it have multiple layers of canon like Star Wars and Star Trek? So it's weird because like the Brawly movie is canon in Dragon Ball. This new Brawly movie is. The old Brawly movies aren't. And Garlic Jr. is first in a movie and then is in filler that's not in the manga. So the Garlic Jr. movie is canon in the anime, but not to the manga, because that character doesn't exist in the manga ever. And it gets fucking complicated, and it's not great, and I don't actually care. And that makes things so much easier. If you just go, whatever, it was fun. Here's the thing about, yes, Strong World, yes. So here's the thing about One Piece. Most of the time you go into the movies for the cool outfits that are specific to that movie that the characters have. Cool fights. Occasionally introduction of a character that's pretty neat. Maybe even a cool villain. Maybe even a cool villain that you actually want to see get beat. And in the case of one of the movies, Luffy powers up into a thing that eventually is in the anime, and it's kind of like Gear 4, but not really, but it is, but they don't call it anything, and they don't reference it, and no one goes, hey, that's a new move. He just does a new move that is definitely fourth gear. It's weird. There's a lot of that's weird. Those outfits are great. The outfits are always great, Ying Dark. The DBZ movies, Super movies are technically canon, but the series does events slightly different. Battle of Gods, yeah. So it's like canon-ish, representative of storyline-esque. It all kind of fits, and then doesn't, and then does. I don't know. Macross is awful in terms of canon. The creators said that the shows or movies don't represent the real events of Macross and are just dramatizations. That Brawly movie fucking rules. Leo, you're not wrong. Just Akira Toriyama acknowledging Brawly as a character and saying Brawly matters is, for a lifelong Dragon Ball fan, I don't know, it shouldn't mean as much as it does, but it does mean something to me. To have him be like, Brawly is real. He can be like, Cooler isn't real, Brawly is real. And that just like, I don't know. To me it matters, and it's a weird thing to say. Brawly and Gogeta, yep. So, Recyclable, the movies generally in the past, up until this one, and he did have some say in F. Career Tournament just like doesn't. That's just part of the deal he has, like, right? It's like whatever. But with Super, like, this is the thing. This is his thing that he's excited about, that he's been working on. It is a series. It's, like, he had some say in GT on some character stuff, but it wasn't really his project. This is his baby, just like any other Dragon Ball property. He is involved a lot, which is awesome. It also leads to things like he forgot that Lunch exists. The reason why the character Lunch isn't around, even though in the timeline, in the world where Super is, 100% Lunch should just be a character. He forgot about her. He forgot about a character he created that lives and exists. So Tien has like a young lady that like is into him, and it's like, oh, he's got a live-in person. I thought his subordinates do most of the work, and he's just a guest man. So recyclable. I don't know for sure. I do know that like apparently he's been really into Super. I can't say for sure. I don't follow all of it, but it seemed like that he was very invested in what happens in Super and had it. I forgot she existed too. She got cut out of DBZ Kai anyway. Yeah, I mean, is she not? Is she? Does she not throw her arms up for uh the spirit bomb, the Boo spirit bomb? I thought she did. I don't know. Maybe she got cut out of Kai. Hello, Christian. Welcome. Lunch. The character Lunch. We've been talking about One Piece, and then we were talking about movies, and then we started talking about Dragon Ball Z. And the character Lunch um, is not in Super because, and this is according to Akira Toriyama, he forgot about her. He's just like, I had a lot of characters. I brought back a bunch. I could not tell you anything about. He's like, oh yeah, her. I guess she'd be alive in Super. Huh. And it's like, yeah, dude. She definitely isn't Super. She definitely should be in Super. But like, okay. Um. Okay. So this one here. So we're working here on our on stickers. This kit is going to be a lot of me applying stickers to things and then applying that to kits, and that's what we're doing here. A lot of applying stickers. She is my dream character for Dragon Ball Fighters. I like the idea that her entrance would be her sneezing and then turning blonde. Like that. She's like, where am I? Okay, and she's just ready to fight. Yes, and she has a machine gun. Yeah, well, that would be like BB Hood. She would just pull a machine gun from her back pocket, and you'd be like, whoa. Like, I think that's 100% exactly what would happen. She would just suddenly have a gun. And she could use vehicles. She could use capsules. That could be a fun thing if she revealed capsules and threw the capsule balls to give her something to fight with. She just runs you over with a motorcycle. Yeah, she had a bike. They really need Mr. Satan in that game. Yeah, I don't know. The fact that that they're putting in Mercenary Tao Pai Pai is pretty great. Um, the Dragon Ball World Tour, which came out a couple years ago, or to promote the game and the movie and just Dragon Ball in general, had a bunch of cardboard cutouts at San Diego Comic Con in the hotel that I was staying at, and one of the cuts was Mercenary Tao, and I was like, hell yeah, this is some. When he shows up all old in Dragon Ball Z, it deals with Goku, and then he also shows up and deals with he like sees Gohan, and he's just like, wait, your name's not Goku, is it? He's like, no. He goes, that's my dad. And then Tao Pai was like, later, I'm out of here. I'm not fighting Goku's son. Oh, that's the RPG, not for fighters. Christian, I apologize. I got confused there. Well, also, I'm glad he's in the RPG. He should be in fighters, though. That would be great if he showed up in fighters. Maybe Fighters Z2. To put in a lunch versus jump. Yeah, I'm all right. I didn't know that. There are too many Gokus. Yeah. Look, putting in Kid Goku is great in my opinion. I agree there are too many Gokus, but if you're gonna have too many Gokus, you should also have Kid Goku. And not Dragon Ball Goku. I'm talking about GT Goku. That kid Goku. Because he's still really strong. More Vegetas. Yeah. Let's put it on. Majin Vegeta's not in there, is he? Because you can put Majin Vegeta in there, I guess, if you wanted to. All right, so now we need C11. This is going to have a lot of stickers. That is a sentence I will say quite often. This next piece has a lot of stickers. Oh, yep. Mustache Vegeta. Kid Goku and a fusion of GT and Dragon Ball. Mercenary Tao has a very fun travel method of throwing it's akin to Thor can't fly, but he can throw his hammer so hard while still attached to it that he flies through the air. That like Marvel Thor, that's how he flies. Like I appreciate that. That also goes to like Tao Pai Pai throwing a thing and then jumping on it. Mustache Vegeta, yeah, old man Vegeta or older man Vegeta. All right, so let's get this 3 out here. Try not to scratch stickers here. That is the issue with using the X-Acto knife, is I have to be careful I am not scratching a sticker. All right, so we can put this aside for a second. We're going to work on this here. Evening. Hello, Dirty. Welcome. Thank you for everybody who's hanging out here tonight. We are working on our Thousand Sunny from One Piece. The second ship here for the Straw Hat Pirates. Oops. All right. Try to get this 3 on accurate. You know, you can always be a little off with stickers, or at least I am telling myself it's okay to do that. But I'm going to try not to be off on the number 3 because it literally just lines up. It should line up directly on this part here. Great. All right, and then we'll just kind of push it down there. Mostly perfect. We have 3 more stickers to apply to this one. Okay. Christian says, also kind of fucked up that they're calling that new game an RPG, but it's actually another arena battler. Yeah, I mean, hopefully there's still some RPG elements to it, but if it's not a classic RPG, then yeah, that can be a bummer. All right. Square is one of these, right? Yep, square is this one. All right. Here it is. Just making sure I can line up so y'all can see me. Applying stickers. Good news. The pro wrestler is a guy picking up steam. Yeah, I'm excited about that show. I've mentioned here on stream that I am excited about the premise. The premise is really great. For those who don't know, there's an anime coming out in October. The premise is that that a professional wrestler who is like the beast killer or beast slayer is brought to a fantasy world to defeat actual beasts. But here's the thing. He's a very good wrestler, but he likes animals a lot. He doesn't want to beat up beasts. So he suplexes the princess that brought him here, and as a way of saying no, and is stuck. So then he opens a pet store. The thing I am worried most about is the humor of it. I only worry because I did not like Konosuba. Konosuba is the same creator of that manga created this, and I liked some of Konosuba, but not all of it. I think some of the characters were a real fucking bummer. including the character Darkness. And uh, I mentioned that when we talked about Ari Fuerza, that the new Dragonborn character, it's basically another version of Darkness, a character I really dislike, because I do not like um, that kind of portrayal of that sort of kink as being for jokes. All right, so we got to find here. Okay. Darkness is a problem. Yeah. Leo asks, who is your favorite One Piece hero and villain, Pat? So villain. Um, I think. Hmm. Huh. Hero, my favorite hero and my favorite villain. All right. Well, let me figure out which piece this is going to be. It's this one. Yeah. Wait, is that One Piece? Wait. Where do I gotta get to here? I gotta get. Oh, this one here. It's this one here. Great. The sticker is literally upside down, so I couldn't find it. I like the guy with the giant cross sword that goes around a tiny boat. Buggy is the right answer. Buggy is my favorite villain turned somewhat ally. Uh, Buggy was not a good villain. Buggy is a great villain that has to help out because it's like, well, I guess I better help out. I do have a soft spot. Also, Buggy, even though Buggy is complete nonsense, Buggy being very supportive of his crew is great for a villain. Yeah, no, the swordsman, Mihawk is incredible. Mihawk is a great. Mihawk's also somebody who's like, I guess Mihawk is a villain. Mihawk is an obstacle, certainly, but then also does some training, and it's very helpful to Zoro getting better. And also didn't kill Zoro, so that's good. Well, so he was a warlord of the sea, so he technically they did have to deal with that. His design is great. Um, but yeah, as somebody who like the world government was like, "Hey, you're gonna help us with shit," like, not great. But the fact that he has been helpful is good. All right, so and yeah, he didn't kill Zoro because he respected Zoro's commitment to becoming a better swordsman. Crocodile fucking rules, man. Crocodile is great. Great character. Great abilities. Um, like, hmm. So uh, maybe it's Don Quixote. It's real good bad villain. Might be. I don't know. Uh, yeah, that the Big Mama is my least favorite. I would say of the major big villains in the series. Uh, just I just didn't want more Big Mama, and they were like, "You're gonna have more Big Mama," and I was like, oh, "But I don't want it." Uh, Crocodile is fantastic. Um, let's see. Yeah. Uh, all right. And there we go. More stickers coming on. Got to put the number one here. Um, yeah, I'm excited. I've been excited to work on this. We did a lot of Lego recently, as you know, between working on a kit, a 3-in-1 here, and then doing 2 Lego kits um, out in Seattle, and then coming back and doing the Batman kit. We've had quite a few Lego sets, so doing a model kit, even one that's kind of like a high grade, it's still really fun. Uh, totally, Leo. Totally get what you're saying with Crocodile. I mean, he's the first real threat because, like, even with the Fishmen, right? The fishmen were strong, and there were like, you know, moments where we were worried, but like, nah, they were gonna beat all those fishmen. Like, it wasn't gonna be a problem. Both groups, like, nah, that's not gonna be that big of a deal. And then Hody Jones is like, not like, nah. I was never worried about the any of those characters. All right, and then applying some stickers here. Uh, so I had a job interview today that went pretty all right. It is for a part-time job. It is something I am overqualified for, but it would be steady work, consistent steady work, and I can't turn down consistent steady work. I've said this: the only job that I'm applying for stuff that I'm right for. Occasionally, I apply for things that I might not be super right for, but I could certainly do. I might not have the degree in it, but I have the life experience to make up for it, or the ability to train for it, or real world applications of it. The one thing I did not do is I am not interested in being on the community social media team for Jewel, not the singer Jewel. If the singer Jewel needs a social media person, I would love to work in that, help out Jewel. I'm talking about JWL. I do not want to make Jewel videos and social posts about Jewel and try to redirect the conversation about Jewel. Yeah, that felt gross. Now, run the Jewels. Yeah, hell yeah. I'll help run the Jewels. Now, does that mean that I did not apply for the bad time to get into the PR front for a vaping company? Yeah, you're not wrong. Now, did I apply for a job for a company that I have openly talked about being bad? Yeah, I did. I have applied for jobs at places that I would not necessarily love to work because I need to earn a living. And that's unfortunately a part of it. But Jewel was where I crossed the line. So we'll see. The job, literally, I signed an NDA for the interview I had today. Not about the interview, but about anything that I might have seen while I was there, basically. Which amounts to nothing. But if I didn't sign an NDA, there would be nothing to talk about. Well, so yin dark pyramid schemes are always going to be a thing. Unfortunately, I now have a list that I just cross-reference, and then every once in a while, they're like, "We'd love you to come in for an interview. Here's their address," and the address is on my list, and then I add a new company name to my list, and it's very frustrating. But it's not. Like, it's just like part of the process right now. So, all right, and cool. Now, I want to point this out here. So you can see there's a bottom of the boat here. So one of the things about this boat is you can either build the bottom part of it, or you can remove the bottom part and put in water. And so if we want, we can do this, which I think is rad, and then just have it like in water as if it's in movement. Or we can just have it like on a stand if we want. I think, yeah, it goes like that on the full boat. So we'll have some options, which is pretty neat. There's some very cool shit about this cool shit. The ship has some cool shit attached to it. All right, so then we need, that's B3 is this one. That, and that's B4. Great. Boats go in the water. Indeed, Christian. That water part, yeah, it does look really great. I removed my monster resume years ago, and Pyramid Schemes still call me about jobs. Yeah, it is a frustrating thing. Generally, when you get a text message from just a number and it's like, hey, we want you to come in for an interview. And you're like, you want to give me any details? Do you think that I've only applied for your job? Oh, I only applied. I only applied to one place, so I guess I know who this is. It's like, no, you gotta give me a little bit more than that. All right. So these are the back here, and so that is uh learning these lines. Characters will be great. Okay, so it's these two here, and that's that one. Okay. Yeah, so right now I've got a on Tuesday I met with um uh a staffing group that is currently hopefully submitting me to jobs for temp to perm and perm, which would be great. Which would be great. Um, and then I'm waiting to hear back about a seasonal gig that would be a full time job starting in the middle of October. That they said it's probably another week before I hear from them, which is fine. And then on Tuesday, I should hear about this part time job that I applied for. And we'll see. Part time job would allow me to keep my other part time job, and then I would have to just do some extra work here and there, and I would be able to sustain myself on those things, which would be keen. Uh, Seasonal job would might mean that I would have to take time off from the part time gig that I tech at. I'm not sure. And then I'm supposed to do a contract gig in November, but I haven't signed any paperwork. So if I get a full time job or a part time job and I have to give that up, I will. We'll see. Lord Crashington, hi Lord Crashington, says, I loved putting my resume on Monster and immediately getting emails from dozens of other job search sites telling me about positions the next state over. Yeah, I get a lot of job listings uh, from ZipRecruiter that are for places in New Jersey that are not on any rail line. So I would 100% need a car, and I would have to drive for 45 minutes to get to that job. And it's just like, no, I was pretty specific about like my travel distance, and that's not gonna work. Like, thanks for telling me about these gigs. At least a couple of them I might even be right for. But I'm not looking to go out to basically Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Like that's not like if my job thing involves me getting on an Amtrak, that's not a job. People do commute on commuter rail, and I'm not against commuter rail. Like I've applied for jobs at Stamford, Connecticut. I know people that live in New York and work in Stamford and take the train every day. Uh, and I applied for a couple jobs in Stanford. Um, but I'm not necessarily like excited about that prospect. And also, those jobs are not barely above minimum wage. They are very high paying, good jobs. It was a ton of stuff where they just pull up anything related to a random keyword that was nothing close to what I wanted. Yeah. And then, like, you get emails, and they have email addresses that are attached to people's names. ZipRecruiter loves doing that. They're like, hey, it's Kevin. I found these jobs. It might be interested for you. And I'm like, you're not a person, Kevin. You're not real. You get the fuck out of here, Kevin. I don't need this from you. I don't deserve this, Kevin. Uh, all right. Um, not that one. This one. Fuck you, Kevin. Yeah, get out of here. You know, I still want a job, so I don't know. I'm doing whatever it takes at this point, but I still have, you know, yeah. I don't know what I was saying there, but like I'm applying for things that, yeah, they would be annoying to get to if the job is good. And then I applied for things that I'm not necessarily right for and wouldn't be at all what I want to do with my life, but they are walking distance from my apartment. So, like, yeah, I'll apply to that. Look at my address when you look at my resume. See where I live. Notice how close it is to your job. The internet part of the job search is great and terrible at the same time. Yeah, I mean, like, and then I still go through, even though I unfortunately could not apply uh, for um, for some government stuff. I'm able to look at their job boards, and their job boards sometimes stuff are good, and they've done some career fair stuff, which has been good, and I've gone to a couple of those. But yeah, all right, okay, and we got the rudder. Hey, folks, I'm gonna say this now. I don't know shit about boats. You can put that. You can put that as my epitaph. Doesn't know shit about boats. So I'm not even gonna try to say rudder. Oh, I don't know. Whatever. I put this part of the boat on and put the stickers on that need to go there. Uh, and then we got more of these parts of the boat. We're gonna put some. We got more parts of the boat that need stickers on them that need work and need our help to look beautiful. So we'll do that. Pretty sure that's right. Yeah, I don't know. Uh, where that nixes my suggestion of joining the Merchant Marines. Yeah, that's a lot of stickers, Christian. Yeah, Christian, it's a fuck totus lot of stickers. And then there's also this sticker as well, which is on its own sheet and looks great. And I'm excited to apply in the future because that's a water transfer sticker that we're going to have to apply. That's going to be great to apply too. But right now, we got all these stickers to put on. It's a lot of stickers. You can see this is all white. These pieces are all white. We're going to put a ton of stickers on it and make it look like a thing. I knew there were a lot of stickers in this kit. I did not realize how many, though. And really tiny, too. Yeah, it's a smaller thing. I mean, it's the price, is a third or half to a third of a, a 1/100 scale master grade because of the size. And also, it's, this is from 2012. It's not that old, but, you are. Sometimes you might be importing these, or somebody imported this because they certainly weren't selling it in hobby stores. This wasn't for sale. Like, I always think it was funny, like, when we built that Naruto, that's the same line as the Dragon Ball, the figure eyes. It's the only figure eyes that's there are other figure eyes, but it was the only one in the Naruto line. When we built Naruto, there were a bunch of Funimation stickers over it because it was clearly, and I got it from GameStop, so it was clearly like an effort by Bandai to sell them in the U.S. because they thought that might sell. But every other, like, so a lot of other model kit stuff we are just importing, or somewhat import, or if we're not importing it, somebody imported it and then is reselling it. So the price of this wasn't bad, but like it, comparatively. So in my purchase, my most recent purchase, I purchased the Go Tanks Dragon Ball Figurize kit. So I'm excited to build Go Tanks in the future. I've got that and a Lego set waiting in the wings. I've been told there's some chibi kits coming, and then also I believe another kit is coming. And then somebody who wishes to be anonymous, And he was like, you don't have to do this as a mailbag. Here it is. Don't worry about it. But I will mention it on stream. I won't do a mailbag about it because they said you don't have to do that. Somebody bought me a new stand for my monitors, which the monitor stand, which I'm using right now. My monitor stand. I still have to adjust it because the two. I got to raise one of the arms a little bit because they're a little off. But my other one was getting real wobbly. Like on Monday, I was like, or yesterday, even yesterday, just having it for doing Hearthstone, I was like, this is a very wobbly what do you call it? Sorry. This is a very wobbly stand. So it was kind of on its last legs. And so I'm very happy to have a new stand. So thank you, person who wants to be anonymous, for purchasing that off my wish list. It's very nice. Hi, everybody who's watching. We got a good turnout tonight. Reminder, we'll take a pause for the cause in a couple of minutes. I want to get these finished here. Shout out to the Anonymous Hero, indeed. Thanks to everybody that's watching. A reminder that it's September. If you are watching this stream and you are like, well, I've used my Twitch Prime coin before, or I was gifted a sub once, but I'm not a subscriber, I would pay $2.50 instead of $5 to become a subscriber. You can do that. You can convert it, or you can just get it. It's for new subscribers. It's not for renewal. But yeah, if you're a subscriber, you can jump on board and get into the cool club and get some cool emotes and support what I do here, which would be great, and I appreciate it very much. That doesn't work with gifts. Also, bits and coins. If you cheer, you can use the Subway cheer emote, which will give some bonus cheer, which is pretty cool. And I am not required to say this, but it is fun to say that when you're talking about Lord Crashington. So this didn't appear. When you continue a gift sub, it doesn't appear in my notifications. But in the chat, Lord Crashington is continuing the gift sub they got from Taltros. Thank you so much, Lord Crashington. Thank you for converting. That's awesome. You'll get charged when your gift sub is up, but you should be locked in at that gift price. So, or that the promotional price. But yeah, thank you so much. Let's throw the bear cave emote there and welcome Lord Crashington into the proper. Thank you for renewing. That's rad. And then I don't have to say Subway Eat Fresh, but that's their tag. All right, so we'll put that on there. Well, we're gonna finish the other part of this before we take our pause for the cause. And for folks that are like, "What's the fuck? What the fuck is a pause for the cause?" It's just a thing where I tell you about ways you can support the stream if you'd like, and it takes like a couple minutes, and then we get back into building and what amounts to a lot of sticker work. Which I knew. I didn't know the amount of stickers that would be in this kit, but I did know that there were stickers. And that's fine. I mean, honestly, I know this is a lot of stickers, but that looks pretty great. And then when I look at it, I'm like, well, I didn't really do this perfect, but that still looks pretty neat. As I said, this is not going to be perfect in every way. Solf is here. Hey, Solf. Welcome. As I said, thanks so much for everybody for hanging out. This is our first ship from One Piece. We did do Tony Chopper, the micro kits that all combined into one giant chopper. The scale of this is such that even the tiny choppers that came with that are going to look cartoonishly big when we combine them on this ship, which is fine. This is the Thousand Sunny, which is a great ship. This is a Thousand Sunny upgrade, which there's a whole line of ships that are out there in this Law submarine, which is great. The Going Merry, tiny. Yes, Leo. The Tony choppers were tiny choppers. Or chopper. Good old Chopper. Good old Reindeer Doctor. Great, great storyline. Great character. A plus, all the way. Two. And then another sticker here. Yes, Christian. Um, the character of Tony Chopper is a reindeer that ate a devil fruit. Devil fruits are what give a lot of people in the world of One Piece their extraordinary abilities, which allows him to communicate with humans. Uh, and he's a tiny little reindeer doctor, and great. And then he created a science that allows him to uh, change his shapes and become bigger sizes and that do different attacks. He was a giant. He becomes. There's one that kind of looks a little human. There's ones that Uh, there's just one that has just big antlers. It's just a big deer. And there's Kung Fu. There's one where he's a martial artist, but he looks. I don't know why he looks the way he does for the martial artist one, but Kung Fu point rules, so I'm not complaining. But yeah. Harold, have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with us, and thanks for being here on the stream and hosting, as always, my friends. And thanks for the bits, of course. All right, so now we go from the point where we are, where we have color, the color illustration, which is very helpful, and now we're going into the instruction part that is not in color, which is a bummer. Yeah, I'll say it. I'll be selfish. I wish that this was all in color, because it would be a lot easier to do. I mean, it's still going to tell you where the stickers are. It's still going to point at things and say the sticker goes here, a sticker there. But having be in color just makes things easier. All right, so then we need C4, which is the bottom of the ship. At the very least, at least the photo, the illustration, the instructions are not to scale, which is very helpful. They're bigger in the booklet than well, they are to scale, but they're not. They're still helpful. You can still see everything you need to do, which is good. All right, I'm going to put one more sticker on here, and then we're going to take a pause for the cause, which, as I said, is just a brief thing where I put some links in the chat, and then those go in the show description on YouTube after the fact, and I just say a couple quick things about ways you can support the stream if that's something you'd like to do. Plug some stuff, plug a video I put up yesterday, that kind of thing. First, I'm going to take some drink of water. Time to get hydrated for everybody, maybe. Oh, that's good. And now I'm going to say a few things. First and foremost, if you're a subscriber, throw the bear cave, throw the Lego, throw the scythe if you're tier 2 in the chat. Thank you so much for subscribing. As September, I went through all that. Bits and coins, as I said, are always appreciated. Not Grind Style is at the top of the leaderboard right now with 690. Nice. Bits and coins are great. They just, it just means that my payout is a little better. It supports the stream. Always appreciate it. If you can't subscribe, make sure you're following and you have notifications on so you know when I go live, so you don't miss a stream. Thank you for Chris for putting a quote, "I don't know shit about boats," Pat Baer on it's an out of context message on Twitter. Thank you for that. And as I tab over to, but thanks. So yeah, it's very helpful if people know. I like seeing the numbers high. Hey, streaming for 20 viewers right now. I love that. Right? It's great. I'm so happy to have you here. We're at 40 subscribers right now, which is fucking rad. That's awesome. So thank you to everybody who's continuing to subscribe, and that means a lot to me. Those that use their Twitch coin, those that spend money, those that were gifted. Thank you all so much for that. I really appreciate it. I have a Patreon. If you're like, I don't want to give money to Twitch, give money to Patreon. It's a different bad thing. I also have an Amazon wish list. This kit was bought off my wish list by Recyclable. Thank you, Recyclable, for buying this kit off my wish list. I'm really going to quickly call out a couple things on my wish list that seem pretty cool and maybe you'd want to pick up. More tiny Dragon Ball kits. They're pretty inexpensive. The Batmobile, Pursuit of Joker. That's a good-looking Batmobile. I like to build that. It's a Lego set. Let's see if there's anything else in here that springs to mind as like, this is a thing that I would build if I could. I got some death sites in there. They're all expensive. That's a $50 for the death site hell as a master grade is too much money. No, don't spend $50 on that. That's a lot of money. But yeah, there's some stuff in there, and in the bottom there's always like tools. Oh, I gotta delete that because I got my monitor stand. I don't know why that showed up as a tool. But yeah, Amazon wish list. It's cool. That's a way to support the stream if you'd like. Also, if you're like, hey Pat, I want to support you, but I do not want to spend money on Amazon. Well, some of the pricing from these vendors is a bit crazy. You're totally right, Not Ground Style. Also, hi, Not Ground Style. But yes, some of them are not great, which is why I always say, like, ugh. But USA Gundam Store is a site that does sell things at a pretty good price. They are set here in the US. They have gift cards. So if you want to buy a gift card from that, you get a code in your email. So it's not a physical card, you just get a digital code. Then you could whisper me here on Twitch. You could send a DM, because my DMs are open on Twitter, and send me that code. And then I could take that code, and then I could save up, and when I have some money, get something on USA Gundam Store. And then I have a Coffee, I have a Streamlabs, and I have a PayPal. These are all ways you can directly support me through a credit card or through PayPal. All are great. Thank you. Anything that comes from these services goes into me buying kits and equipment. So the kit I just bought, the kits I just bought, the things I'll buy in the future, they all come from that. So it does mean a lot to me. If you can support. Build with Bear Community is my Discord. That's for you to join. Please join it. It's very chill. I post photos. I'll post a photo of my progress with this tonight after the stream. That is a way to kind of hang out. You can post links to stuff you're working on, if physical stuff, or if you stream, there's a promotion thing in there for people to do that. And then background of characters. Every Wednesday I put up a new background of character. It's an improvised character bit. This one was very silly. The one I put out yesterday is one of the silliest I think I've ever done. And I think it turned out great. And I hope you enjoy it. So if you can watch that, that would be great. Because the nice thing about that is they're short. But also, if people watch them, maybe I'll make money. And they're not too short that they don't run ads on them sometimes. I was meaning to check that. I'm going to look at my Google AdSense. My Google AdSense right now, I am a ways away from getting money. That's okay. I'm doing better than I was in the beginning of the year. When you make $100, they will send it to you. And it takes a while for me because all of the Twitch archives, I don't put on because it's a whole thing with the algorithm. So I don't put those up behind ads on YouTube, and just kind of focus on the smaller things. It's a whole thing. Let's talk about anime. So the next hour here, the rest of our stream, we're going to talk about some anime, and then I'm probably going to get a rant in about a thing that happened to a friend of mine today that really bummed me the fuck out. And what that means as a content creator and a person that has worked with a company that did a bad thing in the past that might want to use them in the future. But we'll get to that. Right now, I've got fucking 5 anime to talk about. Black Clover. Asta is attacking. Asta is doing his thing. Asta is out there making it happen. The action in this episode was fucking rad as hell, from good guys and bad, and it is it's a lot. Uh, friendship, friendship, sibling. Like they're not really brothers, but Yuno and Asta were raised together. That bond, that rivalry, that just friendship is fucking cool. Yeah, yeah. Also, they're definitely gonna have another episode. Like, we are definitely due for another. This is just a bunch of Petite Clovers. Here's a wrap up episode. Here's an episode that like recaps, like a recap episode. We are definitely due for a filler episode because they are spending a bunch of money on fight animation, and the fights look so fucking good that they're definitely like they're spending some cash on that show. But it looks really good. Yeah, and like I said, Christian says Brotherhood to the max. Yeah, uh, it's just that kind of shonen shit that that Naruto, that uh, um, I mean, a lot of Naruto and Boruto and Fire Force has it. Uh, Radiant has it in spades. That just like we're in this together. I'm who I am because of you. Let's do this shit. Kind of shonen action. My Hero Academia has that in spades, right? Like that take my hands moment in My Hero. Those moments that are just like poignant, huge moments of like camaraderie and brotherhood and just like, oh, so fucking good. Black Clover. Yes, Asta it has a loud voice and some people hate him, but I don't hate him. I think he's great. I'm super into Black Clover right now. Uh, Are You Lost? I think next week's the last episode of Are You Lost. I think that was episode 11. Yeah, I think that Are You Lost and Isekai Cheat Magician and Demon Lord Retry, the next three shows I'm going to talk about, I think they're all on episode 11. I love when Yuta was like, I know you're going to surpass your limits. Yes, Christian, even though Yuna's like, I'm going to be the Wizard King, not you, he's still like, I know that you are strong. And even though he's an aloof character, he still fucking cares so much about Asta and respects him so much. Uh, Fucking rules. So, moving on to Are You Lost? 1 month till My Hero. Indeed, yes. So here's the thing about Are You Lost? While it has a heavy premise, the show is generally not heavy. The show is four girls survive a plane crash and end up on a deserted tropical island. And one of them was trained to be a survivalist by her parent, and the others are mixed elements of going along with it to this is annoying to I'm kind of whatever. I've never had to work hard before. Uh, but for the most part, it's played for laughs. And some of the laughs aren't great laughs. They're kind of annoying, like peep showy laughs. Uh, but some of them are genuinely played for comedy purposes. But then there are serious moments. And so all of episode 11 is trying to rescue one of the girls who was on a raft and wasn't paying attention and floated away. And like has moments of applying what she's learned and trying, but like not succeeding. And all the while you're like, what the fuck is about to happen? And the other characters like trying to deal with it and going through moments of anger and allowing themselves to, while they were trying to think positively and adapt, like giving themselves moments to like be frightened and sad. There's a moment where they're like thinking about what they would be doing if they were home, and it's like, oh, we shouldn't think that way. And it's like, I keep saying it's like. Are You Lost doesn't seem like it is a show that should be playing with so deeply the themes that it's exploring. It should be like a kind of silly survivalist show that's kind of goofy, and even though they're in a serious situation, they're fun, and so whatever. And it's not that. It's like survivalist stuff. It comes up, and you learn things by watching it, but at the end of the day, it still takes itself seriously. And I mean, it's the only like truncated show this season. It's a 12-minute or 13-minute episode thing. Um, and so I wasn't sure what it was going to be. And it's one of my favorite shows of the season. A season full of great stuff. Somebody the other day was like, I'm very disappointed with the shows this season. I was like, I don't know what you're watching. Uh, like, there are shows that I'm not watching. Uh, I'm waiting for all of it. Wacky TV, is the thing that I'll probably catch up on because it is weird. Um, but that is not a thing that, yeah, I have not been watching that show. But I'm like, uh, yeah, the episodes are really short, Christian. You're right. That is a show that I haven't watched. But when you talk about like Black Clover and One Piece and Fruits Basket and Fire Force and Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon Season 2 and Doctor Stone and Given and Demon Slayer. And then there's an action show that has like mechs, but like I didn't think it looked good, but like all of my friends are like, no, this is great, and I can't remember the name of it. I'm gonna look it up, but like, shit, what was the name of that show? Um, I'm literally looking it up right now. I'm gonna see because Crunchyroll has been putting up clips of it. Uh, it is. This is. Oh, Granbelm. I'm not watching Granbelm, but like I have friends who are like, "This is my favorite show this season." A show that I have not watched. Sorry about that. There was audio there. Uh, like people are super jazzed about, and like I said, that is a show that I have not spent any time on. Um, yeah, this season's very solid. Um, okay, so continue talking about the shows. So, Are You Lost? Better than I ever imagined it. People like that dumbbell show uh, that I have not watched because the first episode was like, I don't know about this one. Apparently, they get past the ideas of her personal opinions about losing weight pretty fast, and then it just becomes a weird show about people, muscle men, and muscles, and also apparently that dumbbell show has a fake Arnold Schwarzenegger character, and he's in a bunch of fake Arnold movies, including the Last Action Predator, and I think that's hilarious. And I'm like, all right, okay. Like I said, I wasn't super thrilled with the first episode, so I didn't keep watching it. But that's pretty good. All right, so hey, weird, more stickers to put on our boat. Our boat with a little water. Our boat has some water there to sit on. It's fun. Um, So yeah, okay. So Isekai Cheat Magicians, which is weird to say. Oh, I started watching Carol and Tuesday. Still haven't watched. I don't have Netflix right now, but I do want to watch it. Yeah, it's a great music anime. I've heard very good things about that show. I right now just don't have Netflix. Um, I will get my Netflix subscription. Wanted to renew like the day after I binged through season 3 of what do you call it? Glow. Like literally the next day was the renewal, and I was like, nope, gonna just binge this. He also did like 6 Commando movies. Yeah, Westbrook. Um, so Isekai Cheat Magicians is I guess like I wasn't expecting this. It's my favorite isekai of the 4 isekai that came out. And that certainly was not I did not expect that to be the case, but that is the case. Of the 4 isekai, that's the one I like the most. And I'm surprised by that because I did not set out thinking that was going to be the case. Because Ari Fuerta was so promising and then so disappointing that yeah, so this episode was good. One of the things that I like about Isekai Cheat Magician is that while we know about some of the big bads in the show, there are some minor characters that they're giving some time to. So a guy that I'm like, whatever, that guy's weak or whatever, like, they'll get some development. Like, some characters are getting some development. We're leading to some stuff. I think we're actually leading to the next episode being the clip that happens in the first episode, but, like, because basically the first episode starts with people fighting and a character saying some stuff, and then they, like, go back to, like, where it all started. And so I imagine that's what we're about to see in the next episode is part of that, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing spectacular about Isekai Cheat Magician. It is kind of by the numbers. It at least, I'll say this about Isekai Cheat Magician. At least fucking things happen in it. Yeah, Christian, it starts with them, like, fighting, and you don't know why, and you don't know who these characters are, and you see them have some abilities, and, like, one character has, like, a nickname, and then they go back to kind of before the isekai, like, really properly begins. And it's kind of cool, and it's kind of cool to go back to it and be like, oh, yeah, so that's what was happening in this scene. Where did my... Oh, there it is. Sorry. So at least action happens in this isekai because Demon Lord Retry is... Okay, so there's a bunch of stuff to talk about with this episode of Demon Lord Retry. I am capable of talking about some things. Other things I'm not sure about and feel weird talking about. So we'll start with the thing I know I can say, which is, if you are episode 11 of your 12-episode anime, your season 1, I do not want to see 3 characters sitting in a bar talking about how dungeons work. Because I know you're not going to go to a dungeon next episode. They literally have the main character leave all of the supporting characters who are fun, who I like, to go hang out with 2 other characters that we've seen in the show but aren't important, and talk about rare minerals and questing and how dungeons work. And I don't care if they're setting up what next season is, if they get a next season. Like, this whole episode, if you're going to do that episode should not be episode 11 of your 12 episodes. It just felt like a total waste of my time. And yes, they did end by setting up what's going to happen in the 12th episode, and maybe there'll be some fighting there, and maybe there won't be. I don't know. But overall, it was annoying. And then also, like I said, characters that I like weren't in it, and characters I don't like were in it. And now I guess I'll talk about the part in this that I feel weird talking about, because I'm still not sure about it. Do they show scenes from all episodes? No, they did. They showed like a very small little thing, because he did a bunch. He's in the city capital, and they spend a little time talking about what happened there, but very little. It's not a recap. It's just conversations that don't matter and are RPG mechanic conversations, but not while it's happening. they're basically, like I said, it felt like they were setting up what's going to happen next season or later in the manga, or later in the light novel. Um, so here's my actual thing. There are two characters that we meet early on in the show. Um, One of them is a warrior character. She's not wearing a lot of clothes. It's actually, no one makes a big deal about it. No one even says anything. And it's weird but fine. And then there's Yukikaze. Now Yukikaze is dresses as a woman and does not correct people generally when they think that they are female, but also uses male pronouns, and their friend refers them as a dude, and their friend will correct people about Yukikaze being a dude. And Yukikaze is also like a male name of this snow thing because it's an ice mage. Also, Yukikaze is incredibly sexually attracted to our main character and talks about their butt a lot. They're butt itching for this main character. So it's this thing where I'm like, a character born as male preferring to be female. Okay. Character who is male, wearing considered female clothes, especially like mage outfits that generally for women, presenting however they want to present and living their life. Okay. Trans character, obviously okay. Trans character being referred to as male by their companion, not okay. But I don't think this character is trans. I think this character just dresses as a woman. But also the main character definitely thinks that she's female, and so that is the joke. Definitely thinks that Yukaze is presenting as female and is a woman. And he's like, is this woman dumb or horny? What's happening right now? Like he certainly does not pick up that she is attracted to him, which doesn't make any sense because she is 100% and totally unnecessarily forward about being into him. We are talking about, it is on Hulu, Demon Lord Retry. When I talk about the show, I always say there's parts of this Isekai that I'm interested in. Demon Lord Retry has some compelling, interesting ideas. The most compelling, interesting idea is that it's like Overlord, but what if the game that person had been playing was like a GTA Online? So he looks like a mafia boss, and he has magic, but like the game this character was in was not an RPG, that now this dude is stuck in his game character, and he's in an RPG setting, and I'm interested in that. There's interesting things to be had and said in this show. I realize now, we're going to go back in a little bit because there are stickers that I did not apply that I just noticed now I didn't apply. So we're going to have to put stickers on there. We're going to do these claws, then we're going to go back and put stickers on the boat because I realized I didn't put the door stickers on this. So we got to do that. So yeah, Christian, there's something interesting about Demon Lord Retry. He also summons NPCs, and that's interesting. There's Aki. Aki is a nice little girl. She's an orphan in her town. She's sweet and caring and was sent out to basically be killed by a demon that then the Demon Lord kills. And so she hangs out with him, and she's great. And she's just a sweetheart. And is just a really fun, likable little character that I really, she is probably my favorite character of the show. All right, I want to look at the box here. All right, orange pieces, right? No, that's orange. These are the paws. The paws are white. Yes, these are the paws. Okay, paws are over here. But yeah, this episode was weird because, like I said, it was episode 11. There's a lot There's a minor character that I really was interested in that has made like basically no appearances in the show, and that bums me out. Uh, yeah, I'm currently pretty down on it. I think that show could be better than it is. Also, there's a lot of like there's a character that keeps uh keeps insisting that he's going to take advantage of her because he spanked her in a non-sexual way because he treats her like a child, and it's weird. There's a lot of weird. I don't want. I don't know. Demon Lord Retry. It's not great. It's certainly not as bad as Do You Love Her Mother and Her Whatever, Whatever, Whatever. Because I stopped watching that show because that show was just not fun to watch. Um, so I'm glad I stopped watching that. But I've been thinking I might stop watching. I'm not going to stop watching Demon Lord Retry. I'm going to watch it the next week because there's only one more episode. So I'm going to fucking finish it. Because I kind of want to know where it goes. And I want to be able to, converse about it. So, yes, and her 2-hit multi-target attacks. Yeah. Do You Love Her Mother and Her 2-hit multi-target attacks is the name of that show that I stopped watching because they really want, like, they just want to present that mom in a way that I was not interested in watching that series continue to do. So yeah, I was definitely done with that. Even though that show seemed to have a cool support character, the merchant character seemed like a fun little minor character that I'd be into. I still choose not to watch it. And the last show, we got one more anime to talk about, y'all. And that is, If It's For My Daughter, I'd Even Defeat a Demon Lord. That was a fun episode. They kept teasing the idea that maybe cats don't like our main character, Latina. And there was a weird old man character that I don't know why was in this show. That was kind of odd. There was a few things in this episode that I was like, that's a little odd. But overall, I did think it was a cool episode of the show. It's almost over. It was fun to see the characters get reunited. I don't have a lot to say about this episode of If It's For My Daughter, I'd Even Defeat a Demon Lord. It was fine. It's a fine show. It's a weird show because, like, there's action sometimes, and then there's not. And there's a... Okay, I'll say this. Latina is a devil child. She is of the devil race. That's fine and cool. But some people don't know that she's a devil child. And weirdly enough, there is a character who is a teacher, their original teacher. She's from the church, and she is awful. And Latina takes that very personally and says, if I didn't have these horns, it would be better. And so she removes her horns. She tries to remove one of her horns. And almost dies, and it's a fucking moment, and it's a real thing. This character has a lot of like sadness that she is slowly processing. Well, we find out in this episode that her best friend, she gave the horn to her best friend, and then one of the dude that clearly likes her, who is the son of a merchant or son of a craftsman, took pieces of the horn and made them into necklaces, one for her and one for him. And I understand the symbolism of that, of like, well, we have a part of you with us and whatever, but it wasn't like Latina's idea, and it feels invasive and weird, and I don't like it. Like, I don't like that moment. It was a weird moment in the show, and I was like, this is odd. Why is this a thing? I don't know. It was a weird moment in what was mostly a reunion of characters. They were like, see, Rudy really likes her, even though he's a loudmouth character. because he took part of her broken horn and made a necklace out of it. I don't know. I don't know what they were trying to tell me with that part. It was weird. But yeah, you think that that's like with a name like if it's for my daughter, I'd even defeat a demon lord. You think that like oh, it's all smiles and roses because it's the closest thing to a slice of life this season because there are no slices of life this season as far as I can tell. Um, that and Are You Lost are kind of it all you get. But really, it's just a drama set in a fantasy world. It's weird. It's a weird show. And then every once in a while, it hints at some other stuff that I don't like. But I don't know. It is enjoyable. It's weird, way weirder than I thought it was going to be. I'll say that. Um. Oh, I just had some. So hey, remember, folks, if you use Twitch Prime, you have to manually renew your subscription because we just had two that clearly uh, need to be renewed. You got to manually renew that, and when you do, hit that notification so I know you renewed because it's cool to see that. As I said, we're going to go back here. I missed some stickers, so we got to go back and do it. I gotta put door stickers on these doors here, which sucks because I've already built around it and I don't want to take things apart because of all the stickers. So now I have to carefully apply very tiny stickers to a bunch of doors. I got to put a bunch of doors on things because I didn't do that earlier. And then I was just looking at an illustration. I'm like, oh wait, fuck doors. So I want to talk about Kickstarter. So first and foremost, there's a lot of conflicting. I have a lot of conflicting thoughts when it comes to Kickstarter. Uh, I should say I have ran two successful Kickstarters. I was very thrilled by that. They were small little things that were just basically fundraisers like, hey, I want to do this panel. If you could help out, that would be great. I have backed a lot of projects from a wide variety of things. Friends, strangers, web series, video games, comic books. I'm waiting, for a few things to come out. I know that a few things will never come out that I supported. That's the nature of the beast. Board games, pre-orders for web comics into web comic collections, all that stuff. I've done all of it. I have a very dear friend. Oh, Dirty just subscribed. Thank you very much, Dirty. That's with Twitch Prime. That's 2 months, 2 month streak. Let's throw the Bear Cave and the Lego emote in there. Said thanks, Dirty. I have a dear friend who works at Kickstarter. I have a couple of decent friends who work at Kickstarter. People I like, people I know. And I have a a very good friend who is a former employee of Kickstarter as of today. My friend Taylor, who I've done comedy with and known for a very long time, Taylor Moore, was let go by Kickstarter today for what they said was work-related issues, but it is presumed to be because Taylor was one of the Kickstarter employees that was trying to organize for a union, which the Kickstarter management said wasn't right for that company. They do not think that a union makes sense for them because, of course, they don't. And last week, another employee was let go. Taylor worked in podcasts and in outreach for podcasts and live performance. and in the kind of the arts world. Technically comedy, but comedy is not a category. But he was there to do work in comedy and for comedy projects and web series and live performance, that kind of thing. Taylor is the reason why both of my Kickstarters were projects we love and featured prominently and got some direct eyes, which I am always grateful for. Um, and also, like, it's just you can't do that. You just you can't. Like, Kickstarter is looking for, like, I don't know what to tell you. It's very fucked up. Now, neither of the people laid off signed their severance agreement, which would basically be like Taylor says that it was they would pay out a month's employment, the equivalent of a month's employment, in exchange for him not disparaging the company for who knows. I don't know the set date. I don't know how long that agreement would have been for. Um, Generally, it's a certain amount of time, but apparently Taylor did not sign that. Is not going to accept the severance, and is instead going to talk about it a lot, which I'm glad that he's doing. Um, but I'll say this: if you're gonna fire someone for being at the forefront and trying to scare off people from starting a union, you should probably try to pay them more. You should pay them off for a lot more money. First of all, I'll say this: a month's severance for someone that worked for you for 6 years is not enough. A no-notice firing, even if you think their employee doesn't do good work, it's not enough. But certainly, to silence someone, an attempt to silence somebody that was pushing for you to be in a union, so that they don't make a public statement, so they don't talk to reporters, so they don't talk about what happened, you got to give them more than a month. That's just fucking stupid. Like, if you're going to try to pay somebody off, you got to make it worth their while. Unless they just assumed, well, he's going to talk about it no matter what, so we might as well just lowball him because we know he's going to. And if you don't think he's going to accept it. But just like a month severance is, like, I got more than that, and I was just laid off. They weren't trying to silence me for shit at UCB. And I got more severance than Taylor. It's a fuck situation. I very much like what Kickstarter has done for crowdfunding, what they've done for small businesses, the people that have been able to survive on it. I am not opposed to people that have planned Kickstarters continuing to do those Kickstarters, to run their things, to finish their things out, to use it as the big one. Folks that have drips that are successful, there are only so many of those because that's a limited thing. I'm happy for those folks to continue and doing their things that we're able to get out of Patreon. But it's fucked. And it really bums me out. Strong-arming people and being cheap usually don't go well together. Yeah, Lord Cratchton, like, it's one of those things where, like, who the fuck thought that was the way to go? Like, at the very least, if you're going to do that, you got to throw money at them. What are you talking about? But I hope that, I hope, what I hope is that this encourages folks at Kickstarter, more than just a couple people, dozens, hundreds of employees coming together to work on this union, so that it's too many people for them to ignore. uh, because there are strength in numbers. I know that some other Vice folks that aren't currently part of the Vice union are looking to join, and management is not uh, acknowledging them. I saw that today. So now they're making a trying to make a deal about it and seeing what their options are. And I hope it works out well for them. And I hope it works out well for Kickstarter. I still think that Kickstarter's purpose is great, and what it does is great. And I have high hopes that folks that work there will be compensated. Uh, because it's been an incredible company for a lot of people. And also, like, good job proving why your company needs a union. Yes, Leo, that's like one of those things where you're like, hey, I don't know, maybe firing the two people that are the most vocal about there being a union is gonna be the catalyst, like, for you having, like, to me, that doesn't squelch the desire. Like, maybe there are people who are going to now go like, well, I don't want to be fired, so I'm not going to publicly support this union. I guess that it will make people take pause, but I also think it's going to make other people a lot fucking louder. I imagine it will, and it seems just incredibly short-sighted. It's like that one tech company founder suggesting that unions don't make sense for the tech industry because he thinks they make too much money. Yes. Yeah, he's like, oh, well, you make so much money. Why would you need that? Why would you need a union? As if, like, collective bargaining isn't reason enough. Or getting, or being able to, or like being able to say, like, hey, this has to change. This has to change. This doesn't necessarily have to change, but, like, you have to be aware of these things. We would like, just like collective, yeah, like I said, collective bargaining. I mean, I've been told that, a lot of people always talk about that of like, well, you should probably not talk about this because of yada yada yada, and you're trying to do this and that. I'm like, nah, I'm always going to be pro union. My mother was a teacher, so she was in a teachers union, and uh, that was hugely beneficial to our family, um, and through rough times and through good times, it was very important. Uh, so I'm always been pro union. My dad was a small business owner, so we did not. He was not part of a union, and his workers were not unionized because he was a small. He owned his own house painting company with at most 3 employees, one of which was me. But he's certainly not against unions, and was part of a union in his early life. Um, yeah, it's a weird thing, and you know, how do you feel about the stagehands union? You know, so encountered that doing theater in New York. So I have Lord, I'll read Lord questions and I'll answer that. Not grind. A lot of these people might make a lot of money if they lived here in the Midwest, but if they live in San Francisco, that's not much at all. Yeah, it's a standard of living. It's a cost of living. It's the housing crisis in many parts of the country. Um, yeah, yeah. I look at like I was looking at a job in Texas that I didn't get, and I don't know if I would have gone because I don't think they would have been to offer help or anything. But like the rent there, I was just like, oh, that's a 1 bedroom. That's not 1 bedroom. That's a 1 bedroom. But then I looked at like what they were offering for the amount of work I would have to do, and I'm like, okay, that's still reasonable. And they were still offering a good amount of money, but it was like, okay, that makes sense. Orange. Um, so the stagehands. So I've worked with some union folks. Occasionally, I've worked in houses where we were presenting things that were union, and so you can't touch equipment. right? Um, you have to, or you can only touch the radio, and you can tell people what to do, so you get used to it. Sometimes people are incredibly cool and easy to work with, especially if they like the thing you're doing. They're psyched about it. Other times they are, you have to remind them, and you have to really be a taskmaster, and you have to pay attention. I mean, you always have to pay attention to union breaks and dinner break, and making sure that your timing is right and that you're by the letter of the law for what they need, and definitely don't touch anything. And then sometimes they'd be like, yeah, all right, you can mix, work with the mix if you want to work on the mix. We're okay with you doing that. Uh, but it's just part of the gig. And the sooner you understand that, the easier it is. Like, I always just say, like, one of the first things I say when I talk to people is like, hey, this is your theater, this is your gear. I'm out tomorrow. So let's make sure that we're doing everything the way y'all want to get it done. And then at the same time, we are paying money for this. We are renting this space. The person that put me in charge of communicating with you has demands and requests, and let's make sure that everyone's happy. Um, so yeah, I've worked in Broadway theaters on occasion on like dark days and seasons where they didn't have anything up, and so they rent it out for things. Uh, and for the most part, it's been great. On occasion, I've worked with people who have not been cool, but also I've worked with people who have not been cool that aren't even part of a union. They're just work at a space and are just going to be, they don't give a shit. There's a theater in Chelsea that I will not name because I don't want to deal with them, that has a tendency to hire employees that do not give a shit about your production. And it was never my call if we use that space or not. But you better believe I always had a lot to say about it. Like, hey, do we have to be there? Hey, can we get any insurances? Hey, can we make sure this person isn't working? I always felt like it was fairly prevents people from working. Like, I wanted to join their union, but they decided they have enough people, regardless of whether I'm more qualified or not. I mean, look, the politics of unions and who they accept and how they accept them, I don't have enough info to really comment on it. I've never tried to join a union. Um, I was being sponsored at one point. I shouldn't say never. I was at one point in my career in discussions to be sponsored to join a union that handles like live performance for like runway shows and does lighting for that and setup. Um, and I had to join a union in order to do that job because I had a friend in that line of work that wanted me to uh, run some shows for them from my experience. And so I made inquiries, and it ended up that it just wasn't going to work out for anyone's schedule, mine included. So I have never been in a union. I am not opposed to them. I am not opposed to joining a union. I am not opposed to working with a union. Uh, as I said, my mother was in the teachers union, uh, and I have nothing but positive things to say about that part of it. Uh, I now, I mean, I always hope that, but now I am very much hoping that for my friends and for people I have never met and I'd like to meet at Kickstarter, I hope they get a fucking union. I hope they unionize and they get a good deal. Um, I'll say this. I was very happy to hear that due to the Vice restructuring, because Vice had a restructuring, as you know, Waypoint became Vice Games instead of Waypoint. Um, Austin is now, I don't know if he's officially in it yet, but he is now eligible. He's no longer, his role in management no longer prevents him from joining the Vice Union. And that fucking rules. And I'm really happy that Austin's a union person. That is like the best thing of, or potential and possible. I don't know. I haven't had an update, but that's like the only cool thing to come out of the restructuring was that, and I was like, hell yeah, that it restructured his title within the company and allows him to be part of the union. And I think that's great. Yeah, because he's not management in the same way. And that rules. These stickers are actually coming on pretty nice. We're putting the lion uh, on our Thousand Sunny here, and I'll say these stickers look pretty sharp and are going on pretty easy. Again, I'm trying to nail it, but I'm not concerned if I don't. So like maybe you're going to see some red on here where you wouldn't normally see because it should be fully covered, but I'm okay with that. You see the red on the back and not all of the front. I'm all right with that. Got a few more stickers to put on here. Got to put some face stickers on. I'm just going to clip out the crossbones because they look cool. Wonder if it actually float. I mean it's hollow. There is a hollowness to it because the bottom of the boat part pops off, but I don't know. I don't want to find out. It was always weird that Austin was technically the man when it came to union, considering his views on stuff. Yeah, I mean that's just part of it, right? When you're in charge of a vertical or whatever, like he was technically, yeah, he was not technically, he was actually the man. He was management. Clearly, very vocal management, but management, yeah, this is part of it. We're going to keep going here. So we're going to finish this part up and wrap things up after that. I got a couple more stickers to put on here, but we'll finish up the front of this boat. My $10 patrons, I will put up a poll for them very soon about what I should do after this because, I mean, we still have to keep building, and I have all these stickers left here, I should say. All of this stuff that goes on the sails. So we're certainly not done, and I don't think we'll be done on Saturday, but I do need to know what I want to do next from the 2 kits I have waiting in the wings. So that'll be my $10 patrons will decide that, what I build after this. Unless something comes in from my wish list, and I know I have a couple things coming on my wish list, because that'll always jump the line, but in case they don't come in first, then I just go to my backlog, which is not a lot, as I said. But there's a few things in there. I think there's, yeah, like I said, I have 2 things left in my backlog right now. All right. So that goes like this. Looks pretty neat. And then, I don't know why that was 2 stickers and not just 1 big sticker, but whatever. All right, let's get the face of our lion on here. We need this. Okay, this one's going to be interesting. You should be getting something tomorrow, says Jam. Well, awesome. That rules. Thank you, Jam. All right, so we'll put the eyes on first, and then we'll figure out the next thing. Yeah, I think on Saturday, which is the next stream, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern, I think on Saturday we won't finish things, but we'll get pretty far in it. But I think on Monday we'll finish this up. And really, honestly, it's all the stickers, right? It's just all of the many stickers we have to put on here are just going to take a while, which is fine, because this would look pretty dead without them. It would look pretty lifeless. So I think they're important. Now, as I said, we do have this face sticker, which is going to be annoying. This is one of those stickers where, like, it's curved surfaces, so you have to figure out where it goes and then line it all up and then fold them all over. And it's got to go around a thing, and it's occasionally I just really screw these up, so I think I did okay. Oops. Oh, no. Yeah, I don't. My Amazon wish list is mostly trade paperbacks and important import figurines. Huh, yeah. I mean, mine is equipment, right? It's equipment. I have a private one that for like family stuff that I'll send out, but my public one is all stuff for this stream because that makes the most sense to do because it is an expensive thing. And if people want to buy stuff for me to build on the stream, hell yeah, It skips the line. All right. So yeah, so once I get, if I have if I have multiple things in my wish list, then I'll put a poll up. But otherwise, if something's coming tomorrow, Jam, then I will just, that'll be the next thing we build after this. We'll just go right into the docket. Look at that. That's great looking. I really like this already. We are already getting some really cool shit done. I got to cap my X-Acto knife because that's fucking important. Having your X-Acto knife capped is great so that you don't injure yourself with an X-Acto knife. But that's going to do it for today's stream. Yeah, I think it looks really nice. I think from like, it's just a cool looking kit so far. I'm excited to keep working on it. But that's going to do it for the stream tonight. Lego water sheets to put on. Well, yeah, Lord Crashington, I do have this, so eventually it will go on that, probably for photos. But yeah, join me on Saturday for the next Build with Baer workshop, Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Tell a friend. Don't tell an enemy, because if you don't like them, I don't like them. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on Saturday on the next Build with Baer workshop. Goodbye.